I'm Clare Jenkinson. I'm Head of Sustainability at ABTA, the Travel Association. As an association, we have more than 4,300 sort of travel brands in membership, and that spans cruise lines, tour operators, travel agents, and travel management companies. As Head of Sustainability, my role is to work with those travel companies on sustainability approaches, as well as championing the work of the industry. I'll also promote sustainable destination management with destinations. And when we talk about sustainability in travel and tourism, we're looking at kind of four main areas. So first of all, environment, such as climate change and waste, including managing plastics. We're looking at impacts on destinations, impacts on communities, which I'll talk more about later. We're looking at human rights, and we're looking at animal welfare. When you ask me about what my favourite cultural heritage experience has been, my mind was just flooded with memories, whether that was some of the cities that I've been to where the museums and the galleries were part of like the fundamental reason why I was there, or whether that was temples, both ancient and more modern, that have filled me with awe. But I also realised that some of the best cultural experiences I've had have been where I've had the privilege to spend sort of a few months with a community. And actually one of the ways I've been lucky enough to do that has been through volunteering. So for example, I spent a few months in the Ilam district of Nepal. So this is a community in the foothills of the Himalayas. And I was working on sort of small scale sustainable development projects, but I was living with a family. I learned a bit of Nepali. I was eating fantastic food. I was learning about the local religions, both Hinduism and Buddhism, and I took part in local festivals such as the rice planting festival in Nepal. And I think that experience, I learned a tremendous amount. And I think those memories and what I learned in that time has shaped me and is possibly part of one of the reasons why I now work in sustainability. Towards the end of last year, ABTA launched Tourism for Good, a roadmap for rebuilding travel and tourism. And in this report, we looked at the value of tourism, particularly with the pandemic, we've seen what's happened over the last year or so, and we've seen that impact on livelihoods, but not only that, we've seen the impact on nature in terms of, for example, an increase in poaching and also culture. We've seen an increase in looting without that presence and income from tourism. The report also looks at how we embed sustainability into the recovery in those four areas. So environment, impacts on destinations and communities, human rights and animal welfare. So in terms of impacts on destinations and communities, yes, it's about livelihoods and infrastructure, but fundamentally it's also about that impact on nature and culture as well. And when we look at human rights, the right to a cultural life is a human right. So culture and heritage is a fundamental part of what I do when I champion sustainability in the industry, but at the same time, I think it's an area that deserves more attention. At ABTA, we measure consumer trends on sustainability as part of our annual consumer trends research. And we have seen the importance of sustainability to consumers go up and up. We've actually been running the survey since 2011. And back in 2011, only a fifth of customers said that sustainability was important to their booking process. Now that's about half of customers. Not only that, we've seen the importance of sustainability be maintained during COVID. When we look at culture and heritage specifically, we actually see that 2/3 of people care about the protection of culture and heritage in terms of travel and tourism. And actually, this is one of the most important areas to consumers. Destination management is all about managing the needs of a range of stakeholders, of all the stakeholders. So it's about people, It's about the businesses, it's about the travellers, the holiday makers, and it's also about nature. And all of these need to be considered. So successful destination management requires putting people at the heart of decision making, putting local people at the heart of decision making, having the structures in place that you can bring together the national, local authorities, businesses, academia, NGOs, where you can bring those voices together. Having a clear vision of success. So what kind of tourism does that destination or site want? And finally, having a broad measure of success. So not just looking at it in terms of visitor numbers, but for example, I'm seeing an increasing number of destinations measure success in terms of resident satisfaction with tourism. So initially, I think this all starts with awareness. So awareness of the cultural assets of a destination and any potential issues there may be in terms of management or impacts. And with that awareness, armed with that awareness, travel companies can plan their itineraries sensitively, mindfully. Travel companies can also participate in that local dialogue in terms of management and impacts on culture. And finally, I think travel companies can play just a really important role in terms of engaging and educating the consumers. So whether this is in terms of impacts on people, so showing how you can respect people and cultures and customs, or in terms of place, so how you can respect cultural or heritage sites.